Hello, my friends. I am so happy to see you on this Monday. And I am very excited to talk to you about one of my favorite topics. And you know from this morning that this week is Insect Week. Now, I am just buzzing, buzzing in to talk to you a little bit about the study of insects and what the person is called or the people who study insects. Do you remember from this morning? The subject of studying insects is called entomology, and people who study insects are called entomologists. Say that with me. Entomologists. Whoa, a 5-syllable word. You know, that's a big word and it's hard to understand and remember that word. So I made a little song that I usually sing in the classroom with my boys and girls, but I can teach it to you here. And it just helps us to remember what this person is called. So we just sing this little song before we start our studies in science. It goes like this. We're entomologists. We're entomologists. We study insects. We're entomologists. We're entomologists. We're entomologists. We study insects. We're entomologists. You don't have to do the ending like that if you don't want to. So, what is an entomologist? Well, you know what? We already know he studies insects, but let's find out more about him. Do you see this really cool bug on the front of my screen? Well, we are going to listen to a short video where we actually meet a real entomologist and see what he does in his day. Come along with me. So many different types of insects. Is a spider an insect?
The study of insects is cool. My name's Rob, and I'm an entomologist. Why don't you come along with me today, and I'll show you what an entomologist does. Insects are everywhere. You can find them in the grass, around your feet, in the soil, in the trees. You can find them in your house, in the food that you eat.
Oh, did you just hear what he said? You can find insects in the house and in the food that you eat. Ugh, let's listen.
They have something to do with everything in our lives. So entomology is simply the study of insects. And entomologists are people who look at insects from any perspective. Insects are the strangest, the weirdest, some of the most beautiful things that you'll ever encounter. So why are insects so important? They do all sorts of different things, many of them good for us, even though most of us tend to think of them as being pests or irritating, or they bite or sting us. But in fact, they're incredibly important for all different types of plants. Now, not everybody is necessarily going to want to have thistles produce seed, but pollination by insects is some of the most important functions that they have in the ecosystems around us. Many of you probably like fruit, like peaches or apples or oranges. All of those things depend on insects for pollination, to transfer the pollen from one flower to another so that the fruit can be produced. In fact, even if you don't like fruits, I'll bet that most of you like a chocolate bar every now and then. And even chocolate relies on a little midge to be able to have pollen transferred so that it can produce the fruits that eventually produce chocolate. And frankly, I'd rather have the chocolate than the thistles too. This is one of the things that an entomologist would use to capture insects. This is called a malaise trap, and it's really just like a sort of tent, except nobody sleeps in it. What it has is a barrier in the middle. The insects fly into it. They go up towards the light, and they end up in this little bottle at the top, fall down, and are preserved in this alcohol that's down at the bottom. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to change this bottle because it's been up here for a few days. We're going to take it back into the lab, and we're going to examine it under the microscope to see what different types of insects we've got this time around.
Did you ever notice how insects all fly up around the light? If you haven't, look at the big street lights in the summer and you'll see. So this is actually really cool that that's how they trap them. And this is where an entomologist works, back in his lab. Look at all of those bugs. Whoa. Some of them are so beautiful, aren't they? Especially the butterflies. Ooh, look at that.
Studying insects is a constant source of fascination for me. There are so many different kinds, different forms out there, sometimes even in your own backyard. Entomologists are discovering new species of insect every day, and they're out there in huge numbers. Who knows? Maybe you'll be the person to describe a new species of insect and help tell the world about it.
Wouldn't that be cool? It's another thing for you to think about being entomologist. I don't think we talked about that one for Career Day. So it says, talk to your school counselor or teacher if you're interested in being an entomologist. Now, you're a little young for that, but guess what? As you get older, you can remember that we learned about this in first grade. And if you love insects and you love being outside, then you can talk to your guidance counselor when you get to high school and maybe go to a college where you can learn exactly how to be an entomologist. And did you hear what he said? He said you might discover a new type of insect that no one else has ever discovered before because there's so many. It's crazy. And you're going to learn so much about insects during this unit this week. Okay? So, little entomologists, we are going to move on. You get to go on, I think it's a boom game that you get to play next. Okay? So, enjoy this week with insects, and I'll see you in a video in a couple days when we are writing our Foursquare. We're beginning our planning of our insect writing. All right, you have a good day. Bye.